It's day 4. It is day 4. I technically was supposed to record this yesterday, but your girl went to sleep at like 6 p.m. I was so tired physically that my body just shut down. I came back just kind of cleaning everything. I scrubbed my shower. Did my laundry for the clothes that were already here. I haven't even touched my suitcase yet, my 2 suitcases, and the box I packed up. Um, and yesterday my sister moved in. She kind of like, just dropped her stuff off and left. So yeah, that was a thing. Um, but my body was just tired. So I was like, let me watch a movie. And I didn't eat either. My appetite has been like non-existent, which is a good thing because I was eating so terrible. It goes to show that I'm only hungry if the food is in front of me because I have no food. And if my friend, she had so many snacks and I would just devour them. And it was just so many flavors. If you want fruits, if you want bread, if you want cookies, it was everything. And I was like, man, she messing up all my good deeds I did in Bali. Blame it on her, huh? But anyway, it's been a lot on my mind. Today I did something. It's like 4 a.m. right now. Because I went to sleep so early, I woke up at a little before midnight. So I've been up since like midnight yesterday. And I did something today. I wrote an email to one of my best friends from college. And we are like best friends, but um, basically, I was saying that I can no longer, you know, I had to take a step back from our friendship. And that was not fun at all. The frustrating part is that this is the second friend of this year or time frame. We're in 2026 now, but kind of similarity happened in 2020 or September 2025 with another friend, unfortunately. And that friend was from middle school. And I had to express as well how I was feeling. And then shortly after, I was in a relationship as well. I had to express to him how I was feeling. Um, I would think the catalyst of it all is that I, you know, would drink basically. And I didn't realize, like I got to the point where alcohol was not in such a like abusive way. It was more like, all right, I can handle myself. I'm only drinking wine kind of thing. Because I did grow up where alcohol was pretty abused. And then I joined the military and I felt damn near forced to drink. And then eventually it became my norm. And then eventually I pushed others to drink. And then um, I just got to a point where I no longer want to be that person and it changes you. So I cut drinking like straight alcohol, cut drinking shots to the point that I don't know what's wrong with my voice. Hold on. So sorry. To the point that I let me take this up. To the point that I like literally just stopped drinking straight liquor, no shots, and just only drinking wine. And I think I stopped. I like had a hard time with it for the longest. And then out of nowhere, I just my body almost developed an allergy. I don't even know what to call it. That's how somebody else said it, but it's like my body just rejected alcohol. I would take 2 sips and the whole stomach would just start hurting. I can take another 2 sips and then it will start spreading through my chest. It was like the weirdest thing ever. I was physically forced to stop, but I wouldn't stop still. It wasn't until spiritually I felt compelled to stop that I stopped. And when I did that, I'm currently in the middle of a relationship, all my friendships, all my everything. And the scariest thing that I felt when I stopped drinking was, will I even have anything to talk about or talk about with people if I'm not drinking? If it's not like a good time, because or can I hang out with anybody else? Like, what am I supposed to do with my time with them? Are we supposed to just look and just talk to each other? Because, and the only reason why that was even a question, because it's like I realized I could not have a conversation with half of these people about the things I actually like to talk about. That's like the hard part, is being able to be myself, with them. What alcohol allowed me to just kind of like vibe out and be whoever they needed me to be in that moment. And to realize like I've been doing that for years at this point. So when I stopped drinking alcohol, it I wasn't that outgoing person that's trying to like, I don't want to use the word be performative, but like be the vibe for everybody, just create the vibe, because I know like they're depending on me to do that of some sort. And instead, I fall back, and preserve my energy, because naturally, I don't always want to do that, especially if there's like nothing compelling me to do that. If you're not bringing a vibe, why would I bring a vibe, kind of thing. I'm just going to be in a vibe by myself. And that's usually how it is with alcohol. Alcohol, you can create whatever vibe you want because you just in your own little world. And that was easy to do with alcohol. So it was not easy to do. And I recognized it that I'm not the same person when, like, around people, and it's not the same vibe, and I don't enjoy it, basically. So I think that's the most unfortunate part when it came to like my friendships, is like having my eyes wide open. Like, I can't. It's like I was confronted with all the issues that we were already facing, and it was easy to ignore coming together and stuff. Because you drink, you start having a good time, you laughing, and it seems like you're having a good time, and then once all the fun stops, it's like reality still is there, but you don't talk about reality. So then if you never get to have the fun times, it's like all that's left is the reality. And who's going to be the bigger person to talk about the reality, bring up the reality, and try to fix the reality? And unfortunately, is led for three people to, for me to let go of three important people to me. Um, my mindset on all of this is that, no one's truly gone forever. It's just understanding what role you play to them and what role you choose not to play anymore, like anymore. And it's not like I wanted to like stop the relationships overall. It's like I just wanted to stop being the person that I was to them. So it had less to do with them, and then more to do with me and the energy I was dispersing outward and not getting that energy back. And then it just felt like negative energy just coming back in, and it just wasn't pleasant. I wasn't being fed the way I needed to be fed energy wise. I realized like everything is based off of energy. Like energy is the currency that we never even knew. It was like unspoken thing. So everything is a transfer of energy at the end of the day. And I just value it so much more. I value it over money these days. And yeah, that's where I'm at with that. We do not get to choose our family. We get to choose like our friends and our partners and just anybody else that we weren't born into. But the crazy part, hard part, whatever you want to say it as, like people like me, which I know is a ton of people, who you break up with your family. You break up with your mom, you break up with your dad, like you break up with people who are deliberately trying to do something to you or hurt you or neglect you. And it's like if you feel that neglect with your family and then you decide to let them go or put a pause on it or whatever case may be, it's like you have to be at that same, bring that same strength to your friendships as well. And there's certain areas I feel neglected. I felt not cared for. I felt not safe. And I had to stick up for myself because my next path depends on it. The moment I released the first two in September, October, the moment like I felt like a weight was lifted off of me because I finally just like stuck up for myself because I knew nobody else was gonna come and save me. Like if I don't say it, then at the end of the day, I'm gonna be in the same position drowning. And if I do say it, I'm gonna lose them. So I felt like it was like a lose lose situation. But at the end of the day, it was a lose lose situation with them. But for me, it was definitely a win, 100% a win. Um, you can't be scared to be able to express yourself to people and for it not and to like lose them if you express it. That's not a good and real relationship. And that's how it was with one of mine. But then on the other hand, with the other relationship I had, I know I could express, but it's like at the end of the day, if I express it, is anything going to change anyway? Like, so I was dealing with two different types of vibes. One that if I expressed anything, it's going to be turned around on me anyway. And the other, if I express it, they'll call you, make you feel good about it, that everything's going to change, and things never change. So at some point, you just got to really look inward and take care of you. I felt it in my spirit that I had to do this today. Like literally full blown heat came over me to the point that I had to sit there and meditate. And when I meditated, that's what came through. And then I was like, damn, you want me to do this right now? And then my spirit was like, well, it's like 3 a.m. You got nothing but time. You can't say you got calls. You can't say you got this. You got nothing but time. And it was the thought process came to write an email instead. Like, you know, sometimes your next path is truly dependent on what luggage or what you let go in this current reality. Your next reality is dependent on what you let go in this current reality. Not everything and everybody can come with you, unfortunately. And it doesn't feel good to like say out loud. It doesn't feel good for me to like say this on the internet knowing like they could possibly see this. It's just me honestly speaking my truth and getting better at speaking my truth because I know a lot of people go through this as well. Like we're all trying to find our own tribe. And this is not fun at all. But I'm like, it's not fun in it either. I'd rather be on the freedom side of not fun than the prison side of not fun. Any day. Any day. I feel like I'm now opening myself up to relationships that fit me. And I got to experience that a bit in Bali, basically. And I guess if I go any deeper, how I even ended up in this situation, I felt like it's a little pathetic. I was talking out loud to my friend Belen that was in Japan. I was like, it sounds so pathetic. And she was like, yeah, it kind of does. But I realized that a lot of relationships that I entered from an kind of like a wounded child kind of thing. I entered with abandonment issues and just wanting to be loved and to be cared for. So in reality, I realized I found safety in those who chose me, not like me choosing them. I found a ton of safety and love and support for anyone who chose me. I believe that I felt that way for the longest, probably up until a certain period in my military career, probably like around my 30s, probably 30 and a little bit up. I think I stopped feeling that way of like, because I started to realize that a lot of people will choose me. And that's not to like sound cocky, but it's like for anybody who knows your own worth, you know that people will choose you. So it was me not knowing my own worth for all these years, thinking like I only needed to be with men who chose me. I only needed to be with friends who chose me and to take what I can get kind of thing. Um, so I kept those who kept me, not, you know, wondering why they wanted to keep me. And I think that's what I started really digging into as to why do they want me? Not as if I'm like not worthy, but there's a ton of people who don't want me. So why do these people want me? And it just made me like start to think of what do they get out of it? And then it's like what do I get out of it? What kind of a relationship, what am I receiving out of this? And then I started to realize like I'm not receiving the things that I need, unfortunately. Like maybe it was fine when, under 30 or where I didn't have a lot on my plate and life was just fun and free, but it's not fine right now. Like I need real stability in the people around me. I need real safety in the people around me. So I looked at why they chose me and I looked at why I chose them. And then I realized I didn't choose them. Like I maybe initially, but why I continue to choose it is not the same reason. And I think we're all allowed to grow. I think we're all allowed to disconnect and maybe reconnect as we grow, maybe separately, come back if we align again. But it's interesting, sad, frustrating to know like your circle is only getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That by me sending this letter today, this email, that dwindles me down to one best friend, which is the one I just left in Japan. It's interesting times right now. But what I also know is that my realization of choosing people is allowed me to choose my family and for my family to choose me too. Because I did take a step back from them as well. And it gave them time to choose me back, this new version of me. And it gave me time to let them grow and choose them back. So if I'm looking at it from that standpoint, like if me and my friends are really family, it's just taking a step back right now to have the choice to choose each other again based off of where we are right now in life or who we're going to be in life. Nothing is forever, but just like energy, it can never be destroyed. It can only be transferred. And I like that. So we can maybe reconnect again in the future and we introduce ourselves again or not. Now that I have like a bigger understanding of soul contracts, karmas, and things like that, realities that we have to play out, I realize some people are really meant to come into your life for a time. And then when their contract is done, when it's completed, the lesson is learned for you both, you go your separate ways. And then there's some where you're meant to continue to keep butting paths again. But free will has a lot to do with it as well. I'm just following my heart when it comes to the people around me these days. If it feels good, it's again the girl energy. If it, how do I know I'm aligned? Is basically if I feel good. And if I feel bad, that means I'm not aligned. If I feel good, I feel God. God is alignment. And I just love how she puts that so in like the most simplistic way. If I feel good, I'm aligned. If I feel bad, I'm not aligned. Just point blank. And in these relationships, I've been feeling bad. I'm like, they're the sweetest people. They're so nice. They're this, they're that. Why do I feel bad? And with my friends from college, one thing I learned was if, this is a thing what these people didn't, these friend group didn't do. They didn't blame me all the time. At least one, well, two of them didn't, one did, but not as much as the college friends. And it got to the point like they really made it clear like I'm the problem. And I'm like, well, if I'm the problem, I should probably remove myself because if I'm the problem, I should remove myself and you know, not be the problem anymore for y'all, basically. And that didn't feel good to be known as the problem. It also didn't feel good going through it and continue to wonder why, maybe they're being more standoffish and things like that. Um, it didn't feel good. And I wish I knew what I knew now of like staying too long in things that don't feel good. I think that's all I have on my spirit today. This was a hard conversation. I want you to know it might look like I'm saying it very easily, but I'm trembling inside. I don't talk about my personal business, even like my friendships, none of that, or family, because again, I think about how this affects everybody else and, when they see it, if they see it, what they're going to feel. Like, I care that deeply about what they're going to feel from the inside out, which then halts me from maybe helping anyone else maybe work through these thoughts and be relatable. And it also just doesn't feel good to talk about. You're always opening yourself up to feedback from strangers to tell you what you did and how they see it, because no one's ever going to always see it from your perspective. This is just not fun. But again, your purpose sometimes is not fun, but do you feel good? Do I feel good about this? I feel good about this. I feel free to be able to say it. I'm just nervous about the aftermath. But me as a person, I feel good inside. I feel free inside. Being able to be free and say this is my emotions and my ego coming, immediately after me feeling good. Like, well, what about this? And that's when I have to silence it because my guiding star or compass is, do I feel good? Like, am I speaking my truth? And I am. And that's all I can do. Okay. I'll talk to you tomorrow.